Y'all, I'm Mikayla Lane, and you're listening to Hank's Corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to my 100th episode of Hank's Corner. As always, I am Hank Jr., your host, part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and now podcasting. And I'm so glad to be able to bring this next guest on. She is definitely a special guest in my book because she's the one that got it all started back in episode 1, back in October of 2021. Please welcome Mikayla Lane. Mikayla, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I can't believe it's been that long since we've actually gotten to talk. October 21. I mean, you were only 16 at the time, and now you're 18. So happy birthday on that, because you just turned 18.
I did. Thank you so much. Yes, I can't believe it's been so long either. These 2 years just flew by.
It really seems like it has. And, a lot has happened, and hopefully we'll get to talk about that during the show. But, let's talk about your 18th birthday. What did you do to celebrate?
So I was actually in Nashville. I live in Oklahoma. So I was in Nashville for some rights and things that I had. So me and my parents went out to eat and with one of my friends. It was just really low key. We went and saw some friends and then we went out to supper. So it was really chill, but it was fun. Got to spend it with my family. So it was good.
Okay. And, I know you definitely have a great family out there, and so spending time with that's, really good. And I know that you put a post out there that you're finally legal, but, you just really get a chance to vote and everything else. Nothing really actually changes because you're still who you are. And, the down home country girl, that's who you are, correct?
Well, whenever I made that post, I didn't realize that I'm legal, that I have to actually be really paying attention to what I'm doing because now everything matters. So I didn't know if it was like a plus, like a pro or a con, but I'm really excited and excited to see what this year brings. A lot of places that I want to play, you have to be 18. So that's really exciting that I finally surpassed that mark, but I'm really excited and it was a good day. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see
On
what
the
happens.
good front, you get to have some of those advantages by playing where you have to be 18, but you do have to be a little bit careful because if you get caught doing something wrong, now you're an adult and you got to face the
Right.
adult consequences. But we don't have to worry too much about that.
Oh,
But
no.
like I said, this is the 100th episode. I'm happy to be doing this. You're actually only the third repeat artist that I've had, so that means I've had that many artists since we had. But
Wow.
with all the artists that we had, I had to mention this because my 14-year-old daughter from the beginning has always said that that you're her favorite artist that has been on the show.
Oh,
And
well,
so
tell her I said thank you.
I told her I would mention that on here. No matter how many I've had, she's always like, when are you going to have Mikayla Lane back on? And I said, well, hopefully soon.
Well, tell her I said thank you and tell her hey for me. That's so sweet.
I definitely will. I know she'll be watching this podcast when it comes out. Now, like I said, it's been a little bit of a while, and off air, I had told you that I've kind of got a little bit of feel on how to do the podcasting thing. But you're just kind of just going full speed ahead. In this last year and a half, tell me, what are some of the things that you felt that you've accomplished as the biggest thing that you're proud of?
Well, I'm really proud. I think the thing that I'm most proud of is how my new single's doing because it was Ambush was the single before Rodeo Money, and Rodeo Money is my current single, and I really loved Ambush. I was a writer on it, so I loved it. It was definitely coming from me since I was a writer on it, but Rodeo Money was just kind of special in the fact that I really kind of, I don't know, I feel like I had more to say in this one and a little bit more control in the writing process. And I wrote it with a great friend of mine, Bridget Tatum. She's a well-known writer in town and she's just the best. And it was really fun writing that kind of music with her because in Nashville, a lot of that kind of Texas country with like a Western flair kind of music doesn't really get written a lot down there. So it was a lot of fun writing this current single, but Another thing that's been really exciting is I've started my own handbag line along with music. I've kind of branched out into the fashion side because I love Western fashion, leather, everything. So I've partnered with Alamo Saddlery and we have started the Mikayla Lane collection, and it's just been awesome. And I'll be at the NFR this year, the National Finals Rodeo, and we'll have a booth there for the bags, and I'll be doing music related stuff, appearances, shows, that type of thing. So those are two things that I'm really proud of and I'm really excited about because they're both very new, especially the bags, but Rodeo Money's doing great and everyone's having a great response to it. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, definitely. And you made the point about the, whether it's the Texas, type stereotype or the Western and the country and Western part of it, you definitely bring something. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy the country. I enjoy the country pop, but something about that Western flair that you bring is really great. And I'm glad, whether it's through the music or through your fashion line and everything, that you're very consistent in that, because it really is a lost art.
Thank you. I really appreciate that because especially now with Yellowstone, the show Yellowstone coming out, I feel like cowboy and the Western way of life is kind of looked at as such like a trend, or like right now it's cool, but like next year, like everyone's going to forget about it, or a lot of people will who are really into it right now. And I just think it's really important to show your authenticity and your background and everything you love through your music, through what you post on your social media, how your videos look, your music videos, how you dress. I just feel like all of that is really important for who you are as an artist and to keep your brand well-rounded and authentic. So I really appreciate that. And a lot of that Western kind of element in my music comes from the stuff that my dad showed me a lot whenever I was really little. We listened to Don Edwards, Ian Tyson, Red Stegall. So like a lot of those almost cowboy poet type of singers that had like really cool, really visual songs, and they're just awesome. And I think blending that, a little bit of that with today's sound turns out to be really cool. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with my sound.
Yeah, and it's working. And the old song that said that, I was country before country wasn't cool. You and some other artists that are out there, you were Western before Western was cool. You talk about the show and everything, but you were there, and you'll be there after the show goes, and it's great to have that. But going back to Rodeo Money, you got a video out with that. Tell me a little bit about the video itself.
So the video was an absolute blast to film. So we usually do all of our videos in house, and a good friend of mine, we call him Squeaks, but he's from Nashville, and he brought his Nashville crew down to Oklahoma, and we filmed it at the Tulsa Fairgrounds. So we filmed it at the Ford Truck Arena, and it was so much fun. It was a small crew, but it was awesome. And we spent the whole day out there. It was a really long shoot, but it was so fun. And one of my friends, Quay Lloyd, played the cowboy in that. He's from Stephenville, Texas, and he's at College Rodeo. So it was really cool getting someone in there close to my age and representing the Western way of life and rodeo, the sport rodeo, and all of that was just so much fun that day. And it was just a blast. We ate Mexican when we were done to celebrate, which is like my favorite. So we ended it on a high note too. So it was so much fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a great day. And you mentioned Mexican. It's been such a long time that I've had such good Mexican, but we'll talk about that later in the show when we get to the food part. But I want to go ahead and play Rodeo Money here on Hank's Corner.
Awesome. I'd love that. Thank you.
Dusty cowboys and rodeo money don't hang around long, and they don't stay for nothing. I could probably be in love by now. I could find a place to settle down, but I can't. Cause I'm in love with all their rambling around. There ain't even any kind of town God made. Yeah, their spinning keeps them winning, and that road's got no ending. Dusty cowboys and rodeo money don't hang around long. stay for nothing. Both right away, yeah, they hit that highway running. Dusty cowboys and rodeo money. When that timer sounds and they meet the ground, and they don't make that short go round, and they're gone. Yeah, they burn the rest in gasoline, white lines and miles on to Abilene, chasing that adrenaline dream. Dusty cowboys and rodeo money don't hang around long, they don't stay for nothing. Both right away, yeah, they hit that highway running. Dusty cowboys and rodeo money. I can't rope 'em, I can't hold 'em, I can't fence 'em in. They don't love me, they're both only addicted to the win or the lose again. Dusty cowboys and rodeo money don't hang around long, and they don't stay for nothing. Both right away, yeah, they hit that highway running. Dusty cowboys and rodeo money. Dusty cowboys and rodeo money.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. Once again, this is my 100th episode, and none other than Mikayla Lane is featured here. She started it off with #1, and why not bring her as 100th? You just heard Rodeo Money, her latest single, doing well out there, and I like the video. And, as we mentioned, it has been a little while since we've talked, but, going back through your social media back into the fall, I saw that you had those senior portraits out. I mean, here you are getting ready to graduate. How close are you to graduate? Because I know that you do private schools. So
So I actually switched from private school to online halfway through my sophomore year because I was just really busy, and it sounds bad, but it ate up a lot of my time, and music was really a priority, and having more free time to really focus on that. And I didn't have as much time to make the trips that I needed to and that sort of thing. So I switched to online school, and I graduated actually a couple months ago. Technically,
Okay.
I finished my senior year. So technically I'm done. But that's been really good to get that finished and really focus on my music and everything that has to do with that. So it's been
congratulations on that, because that
Thank
is a
you.
feat, and I know that it's hard to, get the high school degree as it is in general, but to do that while you're doing the music stuff is doubly hard. So, congratulations on being able to do that. So tell
Thank
me
you.
though, does anything change at this point? Are you going to continue schooling while you're doing music, or are you going to focus on music right now?
So I'm just going to focus on music. I'm really, really trying to get lined up with a bigger artist and go on tour with them. So college, I feel like just really wouldn't, I feel like it would almost in a way slow me down momentum wise, and I would like divide my focus. So music is what I want to do for a career. And I feel like life experiences are really important. And I just think that I'd get that on the road instead of, in college. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, but we'll see. You never know, I guess, but that's my goal.
Yeah, and we definitely wish you well on that. And my
Thank you.
second artist back in the day that I had right after you was Molly Lovett, and I remember talking with her, and she said that she had a talk with her mom, and I guess she got it actually from Bon Jovi that said, "Hey, if you're gonna make it, just go out and do it. Don't have a backup plan. Just get out there and do it." And I know that you can eventually go back to college or whatever, but it looks like you're just going for it, and you're taking a leap of faith, and I don't think it's that much of a leap. I think you're already going in the right direction. So,
Thank
we
you.
definitely wish you well in doing that. But
Thank you.
let's back up a little bit. Tell me about the early days and what got you started to be a musician.
So everyone asks me this, and everyone thinks that someone in my family is a musician, and that's not the case. I'm the only musical kind of person in my entire family. Everyone on both sides, like no one I know in my family is musical. So that was a little bit weird. So I didn't really have the influence of my parents. Like I wasn't really around it, but I was always around music. Whether it was me and my dad taking horses to the vet or, whatever. I was always around it, and I was around those artists that I mentioned earlier. And I just thought it was so cool. Like I always was drawn to music, and I'd always have it going, and I would sing around the house whenever I was doing whatever. And my mom and dad tried me in music lessons, and I ended up really loving it. And I was actually born in Kentucky, so that's where I started out. And it's of course known for its bluegrass kind of sound. So I was honestly always around music, listening wise. Not really, I never really played it or anything like that. But then I started out with lessons, and it just kind of went from there. Then I moved to Oklahoma, and I went to like a more classical school for a little bit. It was great. It just didn't really fit kind of what I was going for. So I've been going back and forth to Nashville, Texas, Oklahoma, all those music scenes for about 4 or 5 years now, somewhere around there, and making my own music, writing my own stuff. And it's funny that connections are like the biggest thing in the music business, is just who you know. So building those connections has been a lot of fun for me, and getting to meet all sorts of different people. So it's honestly been really fun, but I started out whenever I was really young, about 5.
Yeah, and that's great. And you're right about the connections. It does take, I mean, obviously you got to have the talent, but sometimes you need somebody that's, connected to discover that talent, to put you out there. And I think your parents are actually doing a great job doing that. Tell me about your family support that you have.
They are. So they're like the best. I could not do anything I'm doing without my mom or dad. So it's just me. I don't have any siblings. And they have just done everything in their power just to support me and help me do this, and just encourage. And I think that if I wanted to like pack up and move to Nashville or somewhere like that right now, they would. So I really do have the best support system. And sometimes I take that for granted and think it's normal. And then I see other artists or other kids my age trying to do stuff, and their parents just aren't there. And I'm like, that would be so hard. I can't imagine. So they're the best, and I wouldn't be able to do it without them. And it's so fun doing it together too. Since I don't have any siblings, it's just us 3. So we're just kind of, everywhere we go, we all go together. They've never missed a show. So it's been really fun, and I'm super grateful.
Yeah, and they're definitely great people. And I think that that's appropriate now if we go ahead and play Come Home here on Hank's Corner.
I think that's perfect.
Days like this, I don't feel like the same kid that dreamed of the day my name would be living on the top 10. I can still remember it. I spend most nights on a stage with a good song, and all these strangers come 100 miles just to sing along. How could it ever be wrong? But this is our last stop, and then I'm gone. Where the porch lights on and it's 3 in the morning, mama runs out with her arms wide open. I never wanna let this go. And neon lights make a night seem longer. What I wouldn't give to be in Oklahoma. It's hard living on the road. If you think when I come home. All I see of my friends is a cell phone, a smile and say it's alright, but you just don't know. I'm surrounded feeling so alone, but I do it all again for one more show. Long as I still got a place to go, where the porch lights on and it's 3 in the morning. Mama runs out with her arms wide open. I never wanna let this go. And neon lights make a night seem longer. What I wouldn't give to be in Oklahoma. It's hard living on the road. If you think I sparkle underneath these lights, you should see me when I come home. Ooh, when I come home. Yeah, I do it all again for one more show. Long as I still got a place to go, where the porch lights on and it's 3 in the morning. Mama runs out with her arms wide open. I never wanna let this go. And neon lights make a night seem longer. What I wouldn't give to be in Oklahoma. It's hard living on the road. If you think I sparkle underneath these lights, if you think I sparkle underneath these lights, you should see me when I come home.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I am Hank Jr. here with my special guest, Mikayla Lane, and you just heard Come Home. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about, because the last time, we met, one of the shows that I got to see you at was Old Red. And the question that I asked you back then was, did you ever get to meet Blake Shelton? And at that time you had said no, but that you had gotten an awesome tweet by him. But you've got to meet him since then. Tell me how that was.
I have. So I actually met him at Old Red. I met him at the first ever Old Red location in Tishomingo, Oklahoma. And it was awesome. He's honestly the nicest guy. It was on Thanksgiving weekend, I believe. So he's just the most down to earth, chill dude. He had just got out of the deer stand on his property in Tishomingo. And he just came in Old Red and was like, hey, like, I love what you're doing. He said, like, I'm so proud of you and I'm so glad that everything's going well, and just keep going. So it was really awesome to have someone so successful say those things to you, especially being from the same area and kind of having the same interests, and someone you've seen on TV, and listened to forever. So it was really awesome. And his family, of course, is amazing. I've known them a while and they're just the sweetest people. So Tishomingo's great. And it's a great place to have an Old Red like that, and it's a really great place for artists to go. So I loved meeting him, and he's really nice. He's a really nice guy. And then last summer I played the Highway to Henrietta Festival in Henrietta, Oklahoma. It's about an hour from me, and he was one of the artists. It was him. I might forget a few, so I'm sorry, but it was him, Wade Bowen, Stoney LaRue, Josh Abbott Band, Jaden Hamilton, and then there was George Dunham and the Bird Dogs, Steve Helms Band. There was Val Moody. There was like a bunch of artists. They were all male and they were all men, and they were like way older than me. So then there's me like coming in. I was 17 at the time. So I played that festival and it was a blast. So I saw him there too, and he's just so nice. And Troy Aikman actually put that festival on because he's from Oklahoma. So he put it on, and yeah, it was a great time. But playing that festival with all those amazing artists was really cool.
Yeah, that's great. And, I've talked to a lot of people that have been on The Voice and, been on Blake Shelton's team. And they all say the same thing that, the way you see him out there is the way that he is. And based
Yeah.
upon what you say, that it kind of sounds the same.
It is. You get what you get with him, and I think that's really cool. And that's definitely something that I look up to because I want to be like that forever. So it's really great to see someone like that at that level of success for sure.
All right. And as far as anybody else other than Blake Shelton, is there anybody that you've met that you were like, oh, this is great. I'm so glad that I met this particular artist or this particular person because of my, the way my music takes me places?
Yeah, so I met Garth Brooks. I can't even remember when I met him, but I met him maybe 2021, I think, at a gala in Nashville. And again, he was just the nicest guy. He took off his hat whenever he shook my hand, and we talked about Oklahoma because that's where he's from. And he was just a really, really down to earth guy. And again, like Blake, just super nice, super respectful, and kind of what you see is what you get with him too. So he was a cool one for me.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you're, looking to go on tour with somebody. Given the opportunity that you could just pick whoever you wanted to go on tour with, who would that be?
Well, there's so many, but something that I always wonder is like, okay, would it be better to go with a female or a male to like have that contrast, But on the male side, I would say probably like Cody Johnson.
Ooh.
I really love his music, and I think we would have like similar crowd interest. I think they would like both of our music. So probably him. And then female wise, probably Lainey Wilson or Miranda.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely can see, maybe doing an all female lineup with you and, having people like Miranda and stuff like that, just, kicking butt out there. I think that's kind of where I see it a little bit.
I think that would be really cool. Honestly, like any opportunity, I would just love it. And I have so many favorites in the Texas area too, like Mike Ryan. He's awesome. Co Wetzel, which he doesn't really fit my vibe. So I don't know if I would go on tour with him, but he's really awesome and his music's so good. So there's so many. I mean, I would have a blast with anyone.
Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and play Wild Like the Wind. And when we come back, we're going to wrap things up with some fun stuff.
Sounds good.
Another day gone by, another 100 miles, and he's long gone again. I lie awake at night, alone and wondering why it just don't seem to end. 'Cause these nights were never meant to spend alone, and this old place will never be his home. One day here, next day gone, blows in where the sunset out before dawn. Yeah, moving like a Texas breeze, leaving me cold on nights like these. And he's just like a cloud of dust, can't seem to hold him long enough. So I'm giving up on settling down, thinking about leaving this one horse town. 'Cause I'm wild about him, but he's wild, wild like the wind. And when the stars come out, wish I could tell somehow the places that he's been. No, these nights were never meant to spend alone, and this old place will never be his home. One day here, next day gone, blows in where the sunset out before dawn. Yeah, moving like a Texas breeze, leaving me cold on nights like these. And he's just like a cloud of dust, can't see gone, posing with the sunset out before dawn, and he's moving like a Texas breeze, leaving me cold on nights like these. He's just like a cloud of dust, can't seem to hold it long enough, so I'm giving up on settling down. Think about leaving this one-horse town, 'cause I'm wild about him, but he's wild, wild like the wind.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. This is the 100th episode with the Mikayla Lane. I'm Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions. You know, I'm documenting those life's moments. Now, this is the part that I also like to talk about some other things that maybe not necessarily music related, but just to kind of get a little bit more about the person of you. So I know, that you're very busy. I mean, you had the schooling, you're doing the musicians. The musicians are always busy, but when you're not doing that, what are you doing for fun?
So I love being anything outside. So me and Dad will ride. I really like to ride cutting horses, so I'm always trying to improve on that. So that's what me and Dad like to do together. We live on a lake, so it's really cool to just go out on the lake during the summer. I honestly don't get to see my friends ever. So I like to hang out with friends whenever I have some free time. What else do I like to do? I don't even know because I don't have free time.
And that's usually the way it goes, is that you really don't have that free time. And I get it, but I always just kind of like to get, the perspective of it, because, and I know that you're an outdoor person, and you talked about the lake the last time. And I think if I remember correctly, you can jet ski. I'm not jet ski, but actually ski. And, I've never been able to do that.
Well, that's my dad. I can't ski, but I can kneeboard. I think I'm so cool for that, but I think anyone can do that. But I can't ski. I'm terrible at it. Dad's tried to teach me, but I just can't get it. But yeah, anything outdoors I love. Fishing, turkey hunting's my favorite. So just stuff like that.
Okay. And I know another thing that you're interested in, we talked a little bit about at the beginning of the show, is fashion. Tell me a little bit about that, and tell me how much input that you have with the bag collection.
So the bag collection has been so fun. They're located in Del Rio, Texas, and that whole family, the Martinez family, is dear, dear friends of ours. They're just the best. And I actually design all of the bags and they make them. So that's kind of how it works. I do the designs. I sketch up something. I work closely with Leah, and she is kind of over all that stuff with the tack and the handbags and that sort of thing. So I work really closely with her, and she'll throw some ideas at me and I'll whip something up, or vice versa. So we just kind of play off each other, but I design the bags and then they actually make the bags.
Okay. And not just with that collection that you're doing, but your social media is kind of designed around fashion. Tell us a little bit about that, and how you brand it like that, and who's doing all your social media pictures. As as a photographer, I always like to promote them.
Well, thank you. So I actually do all my photos. Me and Mom do. They're 90% iPhone photos, but if they're with a professional camera, it's Gabrielle Bartling, Rockin' GK Photo Company, and she's awesome and so much fun to work with. And she knows that kind of Western lifestyle kind of side of things, so it's really fun to work with her. But the fashion really comes through on my Instagram. I love stage outfits, casual outfits. I love just promoting it all because it's not really popular. And I went to private school, so going there for so long kind of changed my perspective on a lot of things, and I kind of got sucked into what fashion was popular there, and it was way different than what I really truly loved, and I didn't really realize that until I got away from it. So exploring that has been so fun. And one of my favorite things is collabing and working with brands, kind of bringing that influencer side and merging it with the artist side. That's something that I really enjoy. So I'm glad it comes through on my Instagram, but I really enjoy all of that. So it's really fun to merge it all together.
Yeah, and you're doing very well, and I pay attention to kind of things like this because of the different types of marketing and stuff that I see, and whether it's the fashion branding, the music branding, or just just the way you do the social media. I mean, I've seen you grow from leaps and bounds since the first time I met you till now, as far as the number of followers. So you obviously got to be doing something right, and
Thank you.
a great job to those that are supporting you because obviously it does take kind of a village to run something like that.
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate that because social media is a whole job in itself. And that really takes up a lot of my time is like content creation. And I have to like remember to not get so focused on that I don't save time for, like practicing, songwriting, all that sort of thing, improving my quality as an artist. But social media is definitely a whole nother beast in itself. And I think consistency is the key with it, honestly. Like some posts on talking about Instagram, some posts will hit the explore page and do really well and get you a lot of followers. Then the next day you don't have really much engagement. So it's really weird, but it's really fun to play around with, and staying consistent is definitely the key.
Yeah,
Sure.
and not only that, but you've been featured in, People Magazine and Cowgirl Magazine, and that definitely helps too, as well,
Oh
right?
yes. So that was so crazy. Whenever Rodeo Money came out, I debuted on People, and then Cowgirl Magazine picked it up. And I love the girls at Cowgirl Magazine. They're so nice. And of course, that People feature was insane. And I was so excited. But it's really been awesome to see all of that stuff kind of come together as one, because, numbers is like what everyone looks at now, is how many followers, how many streams, how many this, how many that. And so that it's just been a numbers game, and all of this stuff really comes together to support the main goal. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm so grateful for those people who are seeing what I'm doing and liking it and supporting it.
Well, I'm glad that you're having fun doing it because I want you to continue doing it. So have all the fun that you can have. And of course, I want you to come back to Florida whenever you get the chance.
Me
But,
too.
given the opportunity, if you could go anywhere or play anywhere, where would you like to go?
Let me think. I really want to play Green Hall in Texas. That's a bucket list show of mine. Some festivals up in Wyoming and Montana, that area, they have some really cool music festivals with some really good artists. Red Rock, I think it's like amphitheater or something. Zach Bryan played there not too long ago, but it's like this really cool thing where the stage is like way down here, and like all around it are these like huge like rocks, and then it like comes down and there's just people. It's a really cool stage. But those are kind of some bucket list things. I just think it'd be really neat to play all of those.
Well, yeah, definitely. And of course, we can find all the places that you're going to play at it on your website, MikaylaLaneMusic.com. But I've gotten the opportunity to see you a couple of times, but describe to the people that are watching, what should they expect when they come to a Mikayla Lane show?
Well, something that I've been told is I'm very honest, and like if I mess up or something happens, I just like say it on the stage, and I feel like that really helps kind of like break the ice if I'm nervous or something. But so honesty, and I have started doing some kind of like edgier like rock songs, like some Joan Jett stuff in my show, and that's been really cool. I'm gonna start doing more of that at a show that I have in Midland coming up soon. But that's been a lot of fun. It really gets the crowd into it because everybody knows those songs. But also like just really raw songs, like Rodeo Money is really simple, so sometimes it's just me and the guitar, and I don't know, it's kind of like a whirlwind, but I have a blast on stage, and hopefully everyone can see that. So honestly, you never know what you're gonna get with me because I kind of just say whatever, but they're fun, and I love playing live. And it's funny because a lot of artists now are like blowing up on TikTok and stuff, and I think I just can't imagine like being used to playing to a screen or a camera and then having to go play a live show. So I can't imagine that. But I'm really glad that I started out playing live young so that I could really grow as an artist and like try to get ahead, on people who maybe haven't been playing live as long. So it's been really cool, and I think the live shows are a blast. So
Yeah, and the two words that I keyed on, whirlwind and fun, and I definitely will describe that as your show. I mean, even when like you're talking about as far as the slower ends of it, I mean, you're basically moving. It's a real entertaining, fun, fast paced atmosphere that just great. And I can't wait to see you again when I get the opportunity. But what's left for you in 2023? What's coming up?
So I've got some really big shows coming up in April and June, and I'm going to have more in between there, but I can't really disclose who the headliners are yet because they haven't been posted, but I'm opening for them. I'm super excited. And then let's see, in December, I'll be at the National Finals Rodeo in Vegas for 3 weeks. So I'll be in Vegas for 3 weeks, and I'm going to have stuff fill in. I know I will. A bunch of rounds in Nashville, hopefully some CMA Fest, some award shows, that sort of thing. So I'm really looking forward to it, playing some kind of smaller venues in Texas. Those are always fun. So we'll see what this year brings. But as of right now, that's what I've got going.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to continue to promote you on my page, and as well as the new Facebook group that I started with is called Hank's Corner.
Thank you.
And it's basically supporting music artists is what it's titled. But of course, you guys need to go out there and follow Mikayla Lane specifically on her social medias. Go to MikaylaLaneMusic.com to not only see what's going on in her world, but also get that merch, because you got some cool merch out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming back on to do this 100th episode. It's been great for the last year and a half doing this. And, I'm glad that you were the one who started, and I'm glad that you're here for the 100th episode. And of course, you have to wait to number 200. If you ever want to come back on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, anytime. I'd love to. I can't believe that I was the first in the 100th. That is so cool. I didn't even know.
Driving these ponies in the great blue yonder, just me in the country air. Took to the canyon when I least expected, caught me in your deadly snare. I wasn't looking for a silver-tongued devil, but you came out of nowhere. You rode into town with a score to settle, and I got no way out of here. Oh no, yippee-ki-yay, baby, you're an outlaw. Smoking double barrels, got a quick draw. It was just my luck, I left my heart unprotected, and your love was an ambush. Kicking and screaming didn't get me any closer. Resistance was a fool's game. Next thing I knew, you had me locked, stock, and barrel, and now I got your last name. I wasn't looking for a silver-tongued devil, but you came out of nowhere. You rode into town with a score to settle, and I got no way out of here. Oh no, yippee-ki-yay, baby, you're an outlaw. Smoking double barrels, got a quick draw. It was just my luck, I left my heart unprotected, and your love was an ambush.